want a piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
What's up, film fans? Happy Sunday, moviegoers. Welcome to episode 220. Welcome to 51st Dates. You're listening to a new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Juan, and I'm joined by the cast, the crew, the guys. Ed?
What's up, folks? How's it going?
Jay?
What's up, guys? I thought this was episode 299.
299.
Not episode 2, not 220.
220. 299, 50,
Yeah.
300. We'll get there one day. Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. How about you guys?
Doing real good, man. Can't wait. Huge episode next week. Huge. Tickets are on sale. Go purchase live next week. We're talking episode 300. We're talking our 300th episode, and you guys are going to be able to come see us and come watch the movie that we're talking about live on the big screen. Rodeo Cinema, 2221 Exchange Avenue, right here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, in the Stockyards, right catty corner from Cattleman Steakhouse. Next Saturday, Sunday, June 8th, 7 p.m. Come check us out. Man, this is everything we've worked for. This is everything that we're putting all together. It's pretty much a private screening, so come check us out. You get to come watch what we're reviewing that weekend. 300 should be fun right there. So come check us out. But how's everybody's week been? Ed, what about you? You have a good week?
It's been good. Been a bit busy. Tried to pack in some movies there, bro. I tried to match you a little bit. We'll see if I did well or not.
Yeah. So before we get to 300, we still have episode 299 to get through. We still have 51st Dates. Zach, how was your week?
It's been pretty good. I actually did a lot in the reporting. Went to the theater a lot this past week, so we'll talk about that during recent watches.
Jay, good week?
Week's been good.
If you guys have not checked out last week's episode, go ahead and give us a listen. We reviewed and talked all about Apocalypse Now. It was our 6th annual Memorial Day episode. We talked about another war movie, so we had a fun conversation. Highly recommend it. And then this past week, me and Jay talked King and Queen of the Ring on a Sports Breakers episode this past week. So all this can be found in the archives, on social media, facebook.com/The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word, The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Twitter, or now known as X, is at Cinemen405. And then you can email us at cinemen921@gmail.com. So,
Dude, I get Gunther, but Nia Jax just seems lazy to me, bro. Seems lazy.
Go
like
back
a lazy
and
pick.
Listen,
Well, you should have been on that conversation with us, Ed.
I know.
Man.
I know.
Some quick ideas though have been brewing, so I was gonna wait and save this for just a private conversation, but I enjoyed talking wrestling with you so much, Jay, that I was like, man, maybe once a week or once a month or bi-weekly, we pick like an anniversary pay-per-view, like say the 20th anniversary of the Great American Bash or something. We review and talk about that card and review all those matches on that pay-per-view card.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So, and if anybody else would want to join, I think we should probably do those on maybe like a Thursday evening and just push out push out as much content as we possibly can.
You're going to hear our opinions on everything.
Yeah. Wrestling, movies, horror movies,
Sports.
Yeah, video games, it's coming. So But let's get into some recent watches. Ed, go ahead and start first. You wanted to dig into them. Would you check out? You recommend anything to us?
I do. So, like I said, I was trying to keep up on par with you. I was trying to see what all I could get into and all that good stuff. Me and my wife actually went through the entirety of the Underworld movies, all of them. Kate Beckinsale Underworld movies. Gotta say, love them. Man, I was like, I didn't think one was just 7 years ago. I didn't think the last one was just 7 years ago. I forgot I seen the 2012 one. So there's that. You know, I forgot about some of that stuff until I started getting into it and watching it and seeing the final fight scene between the big, like modified Lycan and Kate Beckinsale's character. And then I was just like, I've seen this before, dude. What the hell? Watched the new South Park. In's Obesity, for that matter. Gone ahead and watched a
prescription for Lizzo.
Yeah, man, fuckers. Watched a couple of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, the last two, and if you haven't seen Underworld in a while and you're just wanting something to kind of get back into a little bit, watch Underworld, dude. Like, I like how it's dark, how it's modern, how it's slightly aggressive. It is that overdone gothic tone, but I don't mind it either, personally. Just
plus Kate Beckinsale is super hot.
You can't deny that one. She still is a beauty these days. I mean, she really is.
She's in her early 50s, and still looks like
yeah, somewhere early to mid 50s, like 52 to 55, somewhere around there.
That's one of the franchises I'm thinking about diving into next. I'm still unsure.
Do it, bro. Do it. Just do it. Yes, the acting is kind of cheesy. The acting is a little over, but it's not bad, dude. I forgot how much I liked them. I really did.
I'll get into mine next. I had a pretty fun week. I dug into, as soon as we got off the episode last week, I dug into the documentary, Zach, that you recommended. I enjoyed it. The hour and a half was super, super fun. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Probably one of the best documentaries I've seen. And it's been out for a long time. So if you guys enjoyed the conversation about Apocalypse Now last week, go back and check out the documentary. Super, super fun. I checked out P2, which is exclusively on Plex, for the latest episode of Friday the 14th podcast. Listen to that episode to hear my thoughts. I thought the movie was shit, honestly. I watched The Beekeeper, this weekend with Jason Statham. I was apparently surprised. Like, I really, really wanted to enjoy this movie. And it didn't disappoint. It was a lot more entertaining than I thought it would be. The Others with Nicole Kidman, I really enjoyed that movie. I've never seen it. I liked how
I've seen that in theaters on a date.
Man, I enjoyed it. I kind of knew the plot twist was going halfway through the movie, but it still kind of sneaks up on you at the end. And then I watched Spaceman with Adam Sandler today. A24 vibes, giant ass freaky hairy spider. But I thought the movie was just okay. And then I started Godzilla -1 today. I didn't get to finish it. It dropped on Netflix yesterday, which turned into an episode because I said it. As soon as that movie hits, whether it's streaming or Netflix, we'll talk about it. So Sunday, June 30th, Godzilla -1, episode 303. We'll talk about it. It's on Netflix right now. So And then I checked out 50 First Dates for today's episode. So, if I could recommend anything, I'm 55 minutes into minus one. Go check it out on Netflix. The Beekeeper was a lot of fun as well. So I believe that's on Paramount or MGM Plus. So Zach, what about you?
So yeah, like I said, went to the theaters a lot recently. Went and saw Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, and it really actually made me want to go back and do a deep dive. I did the first time watching all the Mel Gibson Mad Max's movies and rewatched Fury Road. My opinion, Fury Road is still the best, then Furiosa, and then probably Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome, and Mad Max. But really, overall, a franchise that doesn't really have a bad movie, truthfully. So that might be worth a conversation one day. A little independent movie called Ezra with Bobby Cannavale and Robert De Niro was really good. The Strangers Chapter 1. I don't understand why we're doing this. And then a couple hours ago, I got back from seeing Young Woman in the Sea, Daisy Ridley's new movie about the true life story about the first woman who swam across the English Channel. Very, very good. Honestly, it's probably going to be on Disney Plus probably within a month because there was nobody in our screening, so it'll be gone probably next week or the week after. And we started a couple weeks ago, but finally finished Under the Bridge on Hulu with Riley Keough and Lily Gladstone. Very, very powerful show. Highly recommend it. It's based off a true story. Yeah. So Under the Bridge, Young Woman in the Sea, and Furiosa. Go check those things out.
Nice. Jay, what about you?
I rewatched the most two recent Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire again. People said they don't make sense and that there's just a bunch of whatever. They both made perfect sense to me. Like they set up something in the Afterlife and it paid off in Frozen Empire, which whatever. I found them pretty good. My bedtime show is Big Bang Theory right now since I went through and finished Young Sheldon. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go back and watch the Big Bang Theory. I'm on season 3 now. That show goes by pretty quickly. It's a pretty breezy show to get through. I watched the South Park show. That's why I asked if he had a prescription for Lizzo. Because only rich people get the fat drug.
Yep.
And then I checked out Civil War again. There's still so many questions I have on that movie. Like, why did it happen? What started everything? You know, they could do a trilogy of movies to show it from different point of views.
That'll be a fun episode. We'll talk Sunday, August the 4th. That'll be.
So you heard it here first. Civil War, August 4th.
Yeah.
And then I watched 50 First Dates and Furiosa.
Nice.
And I thought Furiosa was fucking awesome. Chris Hemsworth to me steals that movie.
Nice. Yeah, conversation about Civil War would be so much fun. I think it'd be awesome to get everybody's thoughts on it. The hows, the whys, the do's, the don'ts. Furiosa, as soon as that drops, I'm sure we'll talk about it. I also
What
saw
you think
that,
the Hemsworth character, Zach?
I thought he was the best part of the movie. Truthfully, it was such a different role for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, Anya Taylor-Joy was bad. She was a badass. Like the trailer set her up to be. But Chris Hemsworth, he was just on a whole different level. And like every time he was on screen, I was like, this is awesome. So
if you like your villains quirky, then he's very quirky.
I saw that he's the main cast lead for the G.I. Joe and
Transformers
crossover. He's like the main guy they want to go get for that movie, so should be pretty fun. But yeah, if you guys want to send in your recent recommendations, shoot us up on the social media or the email, cinemen921@gmail.com. Today we're talking 50 First Dates. It turned 20 on February 13th of this year, as the release date was February 13th, 2004. IMDb gives it a 6.8. Rotten Tomatoes at 45%. The Metascore is at 48%. With a budget of $45 million, it grossed a little over $198 million at the box office. Henry Roth is a man afraid of commitment until he meets the beautiful Lucy. They hit it off, and Henry thinks he finally found the one girl of his dreams until discovering she has short term memory loss and forgets him the next day. Starring Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore, Rob Schneider, Sean Austin, Dan Aykroyd, Amy Hill, Alan Covert, Blake Clark, directed by Peter Siegel. Uh, Man, 20 years old, 51st Dates. Ed, we'll start with you. Do you remember the first time you saw this movie? What was it like then, and what was it like revisiting it for the podcast?
Yeah, it was not too long after the actual DVD came out. Got it. And man, I thought it was hilarious because just the classic Adam Sandler kind of shtick. Rob Schneider was a jackass in this, and of course Drew Barrymore. She played the part very, very well. I thought, loved it at the time, and finished it just a few hours ago as well today for the latest time I've seen it, and gotta say, not much has changed. Truthfully,
Jay.
I seen it around the time it came out on DVD and everything, and I sit there. It's one of two Adam Sandler movies that when I first seen it, it made me tear up. The other one is Click. Click,
Yep.
Believe it or not, makes me cry. I don't know why, but that one gets me.
yep.
But when you're reading off those scores, I'm just sitting there thinking, damn, really? Is that movie that bad? Did people really think it was that horrible? And I'm like, I found it hilarious. But this was that movie that Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler wanted to do because they were always looking for a project to do because they've done The Wedding Singer, and everybody's like, are you going to do another project together? We did together, and they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. I'll go next. This is the first time I've seen it. I don't even remember. This is one of those movies where I don't even have to like watch the episode or watch the movie to talk about it. But it was still just fun going back and seeing everything build up, and the story flies right by for me every time. Believe it or not, this is one of the few Adam Sandler movies that I probably have seen the least amount of times, but it's still like probably over 20 times, if that makes any funny sense.
Yeah.
Zach, what
Okay. This was the first time watch for me. Never seen it. So,
What?
Yep. It was just one that, I'm gonna be honest, never really appealed to me. It just, in Sandler's filmography, just like, I'll just skip that. So it's just like, okay. After the movie was over, I mean, I don't know. It was like, it's another Adam Sandler comedy. I mean, it lines up right with all the other ones, in my opinion. So, not to say that's a negative, but it's just,
that's a big negative. It's like, to you, it's like not memorable. There's no memorable laughs. There's no memorable scenes. You're like, it's just another Adam Sandler piece of shit.
Oh no, I didn't say that. I just said it's just another.
I'll disagree with you there. I think it has more heart than most Adam Sandler movies.
It definitely is a softer side. Definitely softer.
It's one of his travel log movies, though, if you know what I mean by that. Elvis used to do those movies where one movie he'd be in Hawaii, the next movie he'd be in like Las Vegas. They were travel log movies, and this was a part of Adam Sandler's travel log movies where he would go to different places, and because it was set in Hawaii. So.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of him touching on kind of like the disease, like how his dad had dementia and Alzheimer's? This is like kind of the symbolism where we're all talking about heart here. So he talks and brings this kind of traumatic inspiration for this love story.
Wow.
Well, we're all stunned silent because I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
And I think that's what you got to appreciate about Adam Sandler to begin with, or anybody really Like there's so much comedy that he can push out onto a screen, but there's also so much that he dives right into as far as like, hey, you know, funny, but there's also meaning behind a lot of stuff that he does.
Yeah.
You were talking about Drew Barrymore's Jay, and him and they did the Wedding Singer, they did this, and I think they did one more like years later.
Blended or something like that. Or,
Blended, yeah.
Blended, yeah.
It was one of the last few movies he did.
I haven't seen that one.
Before he signed his massive Netflix deal. And we're talking about this as they just get done talking about Happy Gilmore 2, which is going to be a Netflix exclusive. So
Blended is good. It's almost like this one, except for she has her memories and they're kind of in a spat in a way.
Now, if you want to talk about getting lost in the Adam Sandler shuffle, to me, Blended is that movie.
That's fair.
Yeah, Blended is one that's just like really just. That's when he was putting out like 1 or 2 movies a year, with like, what's the one where he dresses up like a sister too?
Jack and Jill.
Oh, Jack and Jill.
Yeah, that was
that
really
one had
fun.
parts.
There's 2 movies of Adam Sandler that you throw them on, I find them fucking cringy and everything, and it's grown ups. Both of his grown ups movies, I thought they were stupid.
Really? Okay.
I thought they were. There was no way to get past the Adam Sandler humor and all that, this and that. I just couldn't do it.
That's how I feel about Grown Ups too. Yeah. And Jack and Jill. And then what's the one where that's my boy with Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
That one is
that's my boy. Yeah.
That one's very cringy. But meeting the cast, I mean, we talked about. I mentioned the cast at the beginning of the episode. Rob Schneider, Dan Aykroyd makes some pretty funny scenes in this movie. Blake Clark, a lot of you guys may know him as the famous dad from that Boy Meets World. He's Sean's dad in Boy Meets World. Sean Astin plays Doug with his lisp. Did you guys have a favorite character? If you could not talk about Henry and Lucy. Jay's Wi-Fi is going back and forth though, so he may not be able to join us for the whole show.
Well,
probably the brother, Sean Astin. It's funny to see him. This is like a year after Return of the King. I was like, okay, this is your fault.
I know it's dumb as hell, but I'd have to say Ula, Rob Schneider's character, man. Sean Astin, Doug Whitmore would be a number 2, but Rob Schneider, dude, was still in the scene most of the time, even from Sandler a little bit.
He has so many one-liners that is just so funny.
It's just the antics, dude. Like him versus Drew Barrymore, with Drew Barrymore having a bat, and he's just like, "You crazy fucking bitch." She's like, "Yeah, and you better run." It's just like, damn. It's just hilarious, man. Like he had when they're trying to be serious and do the camera, and he's all rubbing the coconuts and shit like that. And it's just like, oh my god. And the father looks back at Adam, and it's just like, he's like, you put this shit in there, bro.
Jay, we were talking about favorite characters that's not Henry or Lucy. Zach named off Doug. Ed named off Ula. Who'd probably be a favorite from you?
Ula's one of my favorite. Ula as well, just because the way he sits there and pronounces the Hawaiian words. He's all like, he does that little, and his kids are always better at everything than he is.
So funny. Like,
man,
his kids are always bagging on him.
What's the name?
It's a toss-up, but I would probably have to say Ula as well. He's just super funny. The shark bite. Do you have a kitty?
Don't get me wrong. Doug is hilarious. He still has wet dreams and shit like that. But there's something about Rob Schneider doing a Hawaiian take, and it's just hilarious.
Like Sean Astin versus Rob Schneider in that movie would have been like top tier, just because like both of them would steal the show at any time they were on screen. Like it was just like, what the hell is this one gonna do next? Because hey, Doc, I got a question for you, and it's like, oh my god, this dude has wet dreams. Are they linked to light steroid use? You know, and it's just like, oh Jesus Christ.
Sadly, neither of them have a scene together.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, away from each other, they purely steal the show. I see. I'm having a Doug moment myself. They purely steal the show from most people, and it's just like, what the hell? The other one I'd say after that would be the Alexa character, just because the random crap, like whenever the first couple of scenes, I think, or the first scene with her, and she goes up and she's like checking the walrus's mouth to see if he's breathing well and all that, and all you see is like 200 pounds of vomit and fish and blah just coming at her. It's just like
Ed nailed it right on the money. That's deep sea diving right there. He knew exactly how much weight the vomit was.
Dude, all I'm saying is it just looked like 200 pounds worth of shit just coming out. It was just like,
see, I could have done away with the Alexa character. I'm like,
well, no, I'm just saying, like, you never knew exactly where that character was going, because even in the bar scene, you know, and you know, Adam's just like, look, I can't do this. I'm sorry. Yeah, and she's like, well, can you point me to someone who can? And he's like, that guy, and it points the camera to her, and it's just like, really, that poor woman. You bad.
I don't mind her character. I think she's that little bit she's that conscious at work for Adam Sandler's character to sit there and talk to, because you could tell he tells her about his escapades just by their conversations.
Without her, he never would have been like, well, he did only tell me to not go to the hula bar or the hula lounge. So yeah, that's true. I can go and I'll fucking meet her on the street and do whatever, you know. And he started doing dumb shit on the street, just random ass stuff. And, you know, because he knew she wasn't going to remember his ass. He knew that she wasn't going to remember where. Plus, he knew where she was going to be, which I will agree with the statement she said later on, kind of stalkerish, just a little stalkerish, but he went out and got what he wanted. And I mean, he wasn't trying to hurt her or something.
I find the parts that Tattoo Face is in are pretty funny too.
Yeah. It's
a nice little funny side character.
5. Yeah. Especially when like Adam Sandler finally gets her when he's like crying his ass off and all that. He's just like, what a loser. It's like, damn, dude.
Did you guys like the mixture up scenes of like how he first meets her at the diner, and then he's continuing, and you know he gets kind of told like, hey, this is why you can't, and this is why you must go ahead and go somewhere else to eat, and then it's almost like challenge accepted, and then he really does try to do whatever he can to make her fall over every single time he meets her. It's like the different games, the different things he tries to do. It's like, man,
I like how something that worked one day didn't work the next day, because it does show you that he tried to use the same ploy a couple times here and there, and it's like, nope, doesn't work.
Well, and then, you know, once she, I think the first day she sees the tape and all that, and they have a slightly bad time at first, and then it turns into a good day. She's like, hey, so you don't strike out tomorrow? Lilies. It's just like, lilies? What the fuck? Like,
she gave him.
Go ahead.
She gave
I was just going to say she gave him the home run hit right there by telling him about the lilies. You know, if you want a home run, lilies.
Or the fish fingers. I was thinking of you all morning when I was petting my walrus.
And then the character behind him was just like, like, what the fuck? Like, the side characters are golden in this, especially at the breakfast. It's just, dude, there's so much in this movie, because literally, like, I didn't notice her when he first walked in. And I'm talking the first time they ever meet. When he first walks in, I never noticed her. I never did. Like, I never noticed pink shirt sitting there. I was just like, okay. And I mean, then I forgot about all the other women that he did because I thought that's where it started was the Breakfast Lounge, and it Henry Roth, all this shit.
Harry testicles.
And he's like talking bullshit onto his watch, and it's like a regular Casio watch, but he's like, yeah, okay, and it's just like, what the fuck, man. But the woman at the bar, culminated that shit perfectly because she, drank the hell out of that fish bowl. And he's just like, yeah, there's no alcohol in any of this. I'm sorry. I do this ploy just to, meet with tourists and all that and sleep with them. And she's just like looking at that, looks at him, and she's like,
Fuck that.
how about I pretend that you didn't say this? Da, 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 da. I'm just like, damn, okay.
She's okay with the ploy.
It's just like, okay. She just is like, you know what? You didn't say that. Let's just go. But no, this one is one of, I think, his more heartfelt, because in the mid-2000s he had that heartfelt streak for that. And I mean, Click is one of those because Click made you like cry. I don't care. Click made people cry, bro. It did. This one, you can go ahead and you're just like, man, that's a good relationship right there. Dude tried his heart out for it. But like with this one, the big difference is that reset, it is crazy on how literally he experienced it firsthand. She gone to sleep, looked at him and was like, and she hit his ass with a lacrosse stick. And it was just like, oh, okay. This is real.
And then what's funny about like all his movies, he'll get like one or two like really big name actors to play like a small role, and in this one it's Dan Aykroyd playing the doctor. I'm like, man, there's somebody you haven't seen in a while. I kind of forgot Dan Aykroyd was even in this movie.
Honestly, I did too. And then
I remember Dan Aykroyd because I remember his speech because they talk about the institution being named after Sandusky, Ohio. It's being ran by him, and I'm like, oh, that's Tommy Boy. There we go. There's a Tommy Boy reference right there.
The big scene I did truly forget, not big, but the scene I forgot about completely was the friends meetup scene at the beach. And when she's like, oh, you're pregnant and you got the weight loss and you had the sex change, and you've got big old hulking dude that they're calling Jennifer, and it's just like, holy shit, like
Mahalo.
I forgot. I gotta go tinkle. I was just like, the fuck?
That's one of his buddies, played by Jonathan.
He's in
Longman. Yep.
He's in everything together. And 10 Second Tom was another one of his friends that he was in Grandma's Boy.
Yep. Alan Covert, and then Peter Dante played the security guard.
Man, I hope you have that good. Like his dumbass, like it's just he sounds like a dumbass. Everything he does.
And it's like even with the multi-million-dollar contract he got with Netflix, like he still brings all those same guys in for all his Netflix movies, no matter like how good or bad he might think they are. Like it's still like,
It's Adam Sandler hanging with his friends, the movie. Yeah. Basically, we just changed the title. We changed the premise a little bit, but it's just me and my buddies hanging out for a few weeks. Doing our thing.
And I mean, the funniest thing about a lot of it is that like, he hasn't changed up much. It's not like Adam Sandler has changed on people and hasn't really done anything with people only does something with somebody for 5 years. Like some of these fuckers have been in his movies for 20, 25 years.
Since the first movie, because the first movie was Overboard, I believe.
Yep.
So I mean that's the funniest thing about it, man.
What you reading there, Zach?
I'm just listening to you guys. This is one of those movies I just don't have I don't have much to say about it, to be honest. It's just there. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just like, okay. It, like I said, it just falls into a lot of his other movies, just in my opinion. Like, this is the same year as, like, the year prior to this was like Eight Crazy Nights. The year after this was The Longest Yard. So it's just kind of in the repertoire of Adam Sandler comedies. You know, it's the crude sexual humor. There's he's trying to get with a beautiful woman. There's a hidden moral message in it. You know, it's just kind of the stereotypes to his type of movies at that point of his career. So. I will agree with you. I'll agree with you guys. It's definitely much more emotional than the others during that time. I think he did Spanglish the same year, and I think Punch Drunk Love was like not long after this one. So
it was around the time he was trying to prove that he could act. You know, just not do comedy. He could act. Yeah. And even in a comedy, he wanted to prove that he could act. That's why he done the 51st Dates, you know, to show that, you know, I can still act, you know, with this romantic subplot and everything that's going on. I'm trying to make a girl fall in love with me every night.
And even though I thought it was a weird movie, like in Spaceman, which just came out in March, like he is 98% of the scenes he's by himself, and he's talking to a big. Have you seen it, Zach?
No, I've just heard it. It's like a very trippy movie from what I understand.
Yeah, very, very trippy. He's talking to a giant spider who may or may not be there. Paul Dano actually voices the spider. So, I mean, it's a weird movie. It's strange, but he pulls out his acting chops in this one too, and it's just like, man. But it's really, really slow paced. So, if it's an hour and 49-minute movie, but it feels like 2.5 hours. So. Carey Mulligan is in it as well.
And see, the Sandler, outside his like serious films like that, Uncut Gems, Spanglish, Punch Drunk Love, Reign Over Me, which I think is a fantastic film. I haven't seen that movie in forever though. His comedy movie that has a lot of heart and has a deep message, in my opinion, you guys already mentioned it, is Click. I think that has a very, very powerful message about like being with family and not missing the important parts of life.
I enjoyed him in Funny People.
I forgot how.
Where he had cancer in that movie, and
the scene that always sticks out to me in that movie is like when he's with the doctor. It's like, you sound like a diehard villain when he's talking to the doctor.
Yeah. Or anytime he's having conversations with Eric Bana. I forget Eric Bana's in that movie too, and it's just like so funny.
Yeah. All right, so like you guys, you've talked about it a lot, but the scene where it was the dad and the brother, they're having to do the same thing it's the dad's birthday, he gets the same present, she paints the walls the same, you know, that to me was very, it's heavy, but in a comedic way, where it's just kind of like a weird version of Groundhog Day every single day with a Lucy. But all three actors, they do pull that they pull that scene off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, you know, the biggest thing is like the father is always trying to please that day. You know, he's trying to keep that day in her memory, please that day for her, and not freak her out and stuff like that. And Adam Sandler's like, whoa, look, man. Or Henry's just like, whoa, why are we making her relive Groundhog Day the whole way through? Like, to me, that's wrong. Let's go ahead and introduce her to what actually happened and see how that feels and see how she's doing with that. And if that continues, have a normal day. Quit lying to her. And, you know, because, I mean,
it was cute that subconsciously she was starting to remember it, because that's why she painted so many pictures of him. Subconsciously, in her dream, she was remembering it. But outside of that, she couldn't remember it.
Well, you know, it's like the scene with the cop when he's writing her a ticket for having that long of an out-of-date tag. It's just like, no, hold on now.
Which I have to bring up. I got a ticket one time for my 3-year-old tag. I tried to play that same thing, did not work.
Did you really?
Did not work. Yeah, I meant my blue Nissan. I had a 3-year-old tag. Did
You
not
told
work.
him you had amnesia and you could only remember today.
I did. I even said, "Hey, let me get my doctor on the phone," and he wouldn't stand for the phone call. Just wrote me a ticket.
Wow.
Bad boy Johnny.
But like,
See, if he had called you out and said, "Oh, that's 51st date," you're really trying to pull that trick, that would have been like the even better part of it.
but like with that being said, like, how detrimental would that be, or how different would that be if you just got her fucking tag for her? She would have known, oh, okay, it's around this, so legitly it is a different day. Man, look at that newspaper. It's a whole different year, a whole different month, and all this and all that. But it freaks her out then, and yeah, it's just that day. But at the same time, it's just like that was kind of on her brother and dad to keep that up to date. So because don't get me wrong, 99% of the time you buy that sticker, you forget about it for almost a year. You get your registration paper, you do it again, and I mean most people, yeah, like it. Like, don't get me wrong, if I bought my wife's every time for her car, she wouldn't fucking know half the time. She does buy it on her own, so she does know it. But at the same time, like, if I did do that, she wouldn't know the better, and I'm not saying anything wrong towards her. There's just some people that out there that do not pay attention to it.
I didn't pay attention for 3 years.
So, I mean, it's not necessarily, that important thing to a lot of people.
Did this movie make anybody want to go scramble up and fry some Spam and eggs?
No.
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 Sorry to disappoint you.
I haven't had Spam in 20 years, dude.
That's your fault. Jay, I think you brought up the painting scenes, or somebody brought up the painting scenes where, like, the scene, where she sings on the days that she meets him.
Paints him from her dreams.
That's progression. And that's to think, like, I wonder how much some of this actually, like, he put into maybe some of the stuff he went on with his dad. And it made me, like, kind of wonder, like, man, in the movie, Doug and the dad were just perfectly okay with Groundhog Day, the Minnesota game, the Sixth Sense, the same dinner maybe. And I'm just like, man, like, even if and Adam Sandler had the perfect like mind to it, like, hey, let's try something new every day, and if it doesn't work, guess what, she forgets, we can reset and replay later, we can redo it the next day. So dude, it obviously worked.
That is I will admit, that is a funny bit where they're watching The Sixth Sense, and Rose is like, "Oh my god," and the dad has to fake like, "Oh yeah," like he didn't see that coming.
Or the Minnesota football game where the son is the brother's like, I bet he fakes
Cole
the
Pepper
hands
off to Williams and then passes it to the end zone. She's like, "You should be a coach." Dude, me and my wife were talking about that for a second right after that scene ended with The Sixth Sense, and she was like, "Well, that's a spoiler alert for people who haven't seen Ghost or Sixth Sense." She's like,
"Not watch that movie.
I couldn't believe he was a ghost." Just like.
And that movie had come out like 5 years prior, and it was already like it was that culturally significant that they're already like spoiling it in other movies.
Like, hold up. But with doing the same thing every day, like, I got to agree with Henry Roth, Sandler's character on this. It would get to the point where she starts to gray, or she gets injured one day on accident. What do you do? Or one of y'all get injured, or the dad dies, or Sue dies, or something happens with Doug and he's injured, and she's just like, "What the hell happened to you? You were just fine," and yeah, it's like, what the hell? So eventually something, somehow, some way would have hit, no matter who you've got, no matter how small of a community, no matter what direct paths you take every day, something's going to happen. And
I never thought about it until Jay mentioned it too. Like, Adam Sandler doing Hawaii movies. He did a movie where he was in prison playing football. Like, he kind of did do the little Elvis trip. Like, now he's got a movie where he's in space. Like, he's done a little bit of like everything. Where would you guys like to see Adam Sandler go next? Obviously, he's doing his first sequel ever, kind of, besides Grown Ups. He's doing Happy Gilmore 2, which is set to release next year.
Bro.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that?
That's gonna be awesome. We'll see how it is once that comes out, because I mean it could, they've done some promotional events to it. You've seen him kind of practicing that Gilmore swing and all that, and you've seen Shooter doing little promotional events as well on like social media and different stuff like that. But
I think this new Beverly Hills Cop movie that's coming out this summer, it'll kind of be the deciding factor of how this is going to go, to be honest.
I think it'll be just all right. I'm not even going to lie. I'm a Happy Gilmore fan, but I just think there'll be just something off about it.
I swear to God, if they have Grandma Still, man.
I think that actress is dead by now.
Yeah, she's dead. And then I'm sure they'll have some kind of little tribute to Carl Weathers, even though he originally died in the first movie.
It's all in the hips.
I want to see Ben Stiller come back. If they do, that would be pretty funny. He was the orderly that tried to put Grandma to sleep.
Well, he apparently got her. Bastard.
And I'm sure they'll contribute to Bob Barker as well. You watch.
My supposed outline of the movie would be that Happy Gilmore hadn't competed in so many years, and now that he's considered a legend, and they want him to come back for one more run, and that's what he does. And that's just my opinion on maybe what the plot's going to be about.
Gets his ass kicked by Tiger Woods or something.
Somebody's got to come back out of retirement and kick his ass.
Shooter. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, finishing up 50 First Dates. The ending wasn't just kind of like erupt, but I did like how they explained the painting, the dreams, and then that's kind of just it. It goes on to she wakes up every day, looks like, does the video, and then she gets the only thing that the video doesn't mention is the daughter.
Yep.
Yeah.
She gets to just meet the daughter brand new every day.
Yeah. By the way, you have a daughter, and she finds that out. Yeah.
Dude, not even that, but like, you got to think that kid looked like she was about 4 or 5. So it's like 4 or 5 years of this now. Not only that, but like for a woman, breastfeeding and why am I still, why do I hurt right here, and why am I in a hospital? Holy shit.
The logistics of it, you're just like,
like, damn, dude. Either that or like a funny scene.
Well, just look at it from the daughter.
Yeah, the daughter.
I was going to say, look at it from the daughter's point of view. Her mom is going to have to sit there and do that every day. She's not going to know her mom about anything. She's just basically her, and it's going to be her and her dad. That's the sad part of this movie, is that the daughter and father are the only ones that have the memories and everything that they have, because the mom don't no more.
Well,
that's true.
But I mean, she still probably keeps the journal. And I'm just going off of fan booking, I guess. Probably still has the journal. Probably because I would keep a journal, especially like if I was pissed at my kid the day before and you did something, blah 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 blah. Bro, no, we're settling this shit. Or I was proud of something you did the day before. No,
that would be funny.
Like wanting to keep this, because whatever. But I mean, like at the same time, she's still gonna be there for her kid, just because like once her kid goes through, let's say, puberty and stuff like that, like she's gonna be able to explain it probably better than Henry Roth is. Different junk like that. So it to me, having the dad there was a good thing, because Doug should get on his own shit. And now he's got Alexa or whatever and all that. So at home is good for him. But having the dad there, I think, would be a big key to it because now he gets another adventure. He's a good hand, with the boat. So anything goes wrong, he kind of knows a bit about shit. At the same time as there's family all around this little girl. So I think that's a perfect way to end it in a way.
No, the perfect way to end it was that shitty CGI shot they did of her looking out the window. That's the perfect way to end the movie.
Fair.
That's true.
Favorite scenes? Zach, you want to go first?
I won't lie that what you were talking about, Ed, earlier about the walrus vomit that did get a laugh out of me. It's just so out of left field. I was like, oh damn, okay. The one where he's trying to get her to remember, and he uses like the penguin as like a hey, stop this, and nearly runs the damn penguin over. It was just like, oh, and he just like, oh shit. Well, I guess that didn't work.
You shit your pants too? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And there's just like dust coming up behind him, and it looks like you got smoked or something.
Yeah.
Jay?
I like all the failed attempts and just the attempts in general. Still, one of my favorite attempts is whenever fucking Ula is beating him up, and she comes out with the baseball bat, just starts swinging and beating the shit out of him. So the montage of him trying different things, but that one particular moment in that scene, Ula just getting the shit kicked out of him. Crazy bitch! Yeah, you better run. So it's yeah, I love that scene.
Did you guys talk about the Asian guy at the counter that's always talking shit about Henry every single time he tries to get her attention?
That was good. That was a good side character. That was good.
Yeah.
There was a lot to go on in this side character wise. There was a lot.
Yeah. I'd say that the Asian guy at the counter is probably mine because he is such a smart ass, and Sandler just walks by. He's like, well, "You just won't die already."
I would have to say the boat scene where they come out of the boat, or where she comes out of the below deck and sees her dad, sees the little girl, sees Henry, and I got to say that's mine because I mean he's getting to live his dream. And she's getting a life. Like maybe it's a life that's very odd and complicated as hell. But at the same time, like you've got this entire family now, and her dad's right there to say, "Yep, this is it. This is you. That's you." Yeah,
I like the scene where he's getting ready to go off and sail. And then the dad and Doug's like, here's some Spam and Reese's. And Doug's like, I like Spam and Reese's. And then just takes the box from him.
Yeah.
Or when they're in the truck and they're going to see the tree or see the doctor, and Drew Barrymore's like, Drew Barrymore's like, do we have sex? And Adam Sandler's like, no, but we want to. And then the dad and brother look back at him.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Or like I said earlier, the Minnesota Vikings scene where he calls out the exact play of what happened. So
look, Tony Romo.
Yeah, there's a lot of favorite scenes for me in this, so I'll just keep it at those few. Man, fun movie. Honestly, sitting back and rewatching, it was real fun for me. So, star rating, Ed, we'll start with you.
I got to say a 4. I mean, I just think this is definitely a good movie. It's a heartfelt movie in my opinion. I think this movie is one of his mid to top tiers to me. So yeah.
Jay?
I'll go 3.5 for all the reasons why I discussed today.
I'll go 4. 4 stars for me. Yeah. Zach?
Honestly, I mean, like I said, it's fine. I'm like in the middle. It's a 3. Like I said, I didn't hate this. I didn't love this. It's like I said, it's typical early odd 2000s Adam Sandler. So I mean, like I said, I grew up with that. So this is just not one that I didn't grow up with this one. So I'm just like, okay, it is what it is.
That's it, man. Star rating for 51st Dates, 20 years of this movie, longer and longer years of Adam Sandler to go. Hopefully, some more sequels. If you guys have not seen Spaceman, but you're a big Adam Sandler nerd like I am, go check it out.
Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys like? Do you want him to do more comedy, or do you want him to do like more serious stuff like Uncut Gems and Punch Drunk Love and stuff like that?
Honestly, it's either way. I feel like I don't mind his serious side. He's got some comedy to those, or at least some comedic undertones. Comedy is his gold. I mean, comedy is his bread and butter. Like it is, it has been since the 80s. So, like, if they make Happy Gilmore's 2 serious as hell, it'll be very weird. But if they, if they do a little bit different on it, kind of in the middle, wouldn't mind it at all. If they did full on comedy, wouldn't mind it at all. So it's just as long as he, to me, kind of keeps it a usual, and yeah, to me that's his best. Yeah, that's my opinion.
I'll go ahead and say this. I think I've outgrown Adam Sandler. I've hit that certain point of age where his screwball comedy just isn't funny to me anymore. Like, that's why I didn't like Grown Ups 2 and everything. Grown Ups, his Ridiculous 6 movie was all right. There's a lot of his newer stuff I have not seen because there's just no desire for me to see him. It's because it's the same shtick over and over again. So I'm like, I'm good.
I think if he had done Ridiculous 6 in the early 2000s and paid his tribute to Mel Brooks that way, I think I would have liked it a lot more. But it seems like since he's signed with Netflix, I agree with Jay. Like all his comedy stuff has just been delusional output.
Not great.
It's been the whole quantity over quality kind of stuff.
Didn't he do Murder Mystery 1 and 2? I still haven't seen those.
The murder mystery movies are not good. The movie that just recently came out, Something About My Bar Mitzvah, where his daughters were really the main characters, that movie was okay. It was kind of like a coming of age teenage story, and he had a small background role that was funny. Or the movie where his daughter and Chris Rock's son get married. That movie was okay. It's where he kind of like mixes a little bit in between, or he does a real serious role. Honestly, I kind of just want him to drop the whole Netflix thing and do more stuff like Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I think you hit it. I think you hit it perfectly on the nail, Jay. I think because I've seen more of his serious stuff like Uncut Gems and Hustle and his serious stuff, I want him to do more of that because he can be a very, very good actor. And when you do stuff like Murder Mystery and when he said if I didn't get nominated for an Oscar, I'm going to do something real shitty like Hubie Halloween. It's like, dude, you don't have to do this. You really don't. Honestly, I know you make bank off these movies, but you're. I think you're more than that. Honestly.
At the end of the day, he does his
routine.
He does what he wants to do.
He does his routine.
He's one of the richest actors in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think it also helps that he's like a genuine nice guy. Like if you see him playing basketball on the street, you want to go say hi. He'll, he's not going to be an asshole or nothing.
It's not even that, but this motherfucker walks around in like ball shorts and a New York Knicks
t-shirt,
and dude's worth like what, $400 or $500 million, or roughly, more. Yeah. And it's just like he's not all dressed and primped out in a like 3-piece suit or Louis Vuitton and like that, or Versace or whatever. Like, dude just got on like some
9 times out of 10,
Jordan shorts and shit like that.
9 times out of 10, when you see him on interviews, it's cargo shorts, basketball shoes, and some t-shirt or like a hoodie of some kind.
Like,
let's not talk about him like he's a bum. Those cargo shorts are probably 60, 70,
No,
80
no.
bucks. The Jordans,
But he's
like $200 or $300.
Well, yeah.
But he's comfortable on that, and I respect that. He just wants to be him when he's like touring or
June
doing,
is
promotional.
kicking off, and June is coming in hot with a blaze of saddles. Next week, 300, June 9th, live at Rodeo Cinema. Can't wait. Come check us out next Saturday, June the 8th, 7 p.m., 2221 Exchange Avenue, Oklahoma City, Stockyards. Tickets are available now. Check out the link on the social media page. Sunday, June 16, we're talking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
Beautiful movie.
Sunday, June 23rd, Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes. We're talking Demolition Man. And then
the 3
Sunday,
seashells.
The 3 seashells. We're going to display how to use them that day, too.
Sunday, yeah, it's about time.
Sunday, June 30th, Godzilla -1, which is available to stream on Netflix.
What's up, Clark?
I'm surprised they put it on Netflix that quick.
It's on Netflix. You can check it out. Japanese version or the dubbed version is on there as well. It automatically starts you out with the dubbed version, so if you want to change it, you'll have to do it that way. But Zach, next week, man, it's your series finale, man. You're gonna step away for a little bit. Next week is your last episode, 300. You'll take the whole summer off. Maybe join us again in the late fall. But man, we'll talk about that a little bit more next week. We'll get some final thoughts out of you for next week, as we'll salute and say see you later, because it's never goodbye. If you guys want to hang out and dig into the funds, help us build up the show a little bit more, help us print some more flyers, help us put some more microphones in the air. There's the Cash App. You guys can donate to the show. Everything you put in there will just go right back into the show. T-shirts, t-shirt machines, crickets, flyers, posters, vinyl hangings, whatever you can. And then next week, man, it's all about the sponsors. Rodeo Cinema, come join me and everybody else next Saturday, June the 8th. So it's hard to believe. And Zach mentioned this to me a few weeks ago. Not a lot of podcasts, successful or not, can reach 300 episodes. Like, it's the consistency. It's making sure that we have a fun conversation each and every single week. I think we've missed maybe 1 week since September 2018, if that. And like, it's kind of been like super, super fun recently. I think we've hit our stride like legit these last 6 months. This has been numbers wise on Spotify, Anchor, Podbean, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to us. These last 6 months have been the most fun and the most like successful that this entire show has been. And I really want to thank everybody that's sitting here talking to me on the screen right now, everybody out there listening and watching on YouTube, Facebook Live, who downloads this. Like, I don't think I could probably do this if I knew that only like 20 or 30 people maybe listen. What do you guys think?
Oh, I'm still good. I used to be a referee in 20 people, so hey, I'm used to the 20 people gig.
It is what it is on that. It's kind of cool just to see those numbers, but at the same time, like, to me, it's just coming together and doing this. I may not be on every single week, but life is kind of here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's cool that like you said, 1 week potentially out of, almost 6 years that we haven't done this. We're consistent as hell, whether just 2 of us are on or 4 or more, or, whether we've changed members, whether members have came back on or came on, we're consistent, man. Like that's the biggest difference right there. Truly is.
Yeah.
And
It's evolved. I mean, like you said, it was just you and Greg, you and Ed, just doing it for the first month or two, and then I, hopped on, and then Greg joined us for a little bit, and now we got Jay. So people come and go, but it's different. If the show's evolved, we used to have like 50 different, different little things that we would do, which I think you guys might be going back to that, like box office talk and just movie talk and just stuff like that. But we did 2-hour shows. We've done 45-hour shows. It's just here and there. It's evolved with what we try to make the listener, enjoy it. And I think that's the ultimate goal here. So.
And it doesn't matter, like you said, Zach, if it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 hours. We've had a 3.5-hour episode one time. Like, a lot of the feedback is like, hey, I love that you guys start the podcast on Mondays or Sundays because I listen to it on the way to work. And then by the time I come home from work on Friday throughout my travel, I finish the episode. So I think that's what's most fun about it. And, we'll get back into more like email answering and reading out emails over the show in the next few weeks. But like, that's one of the most fun parts about it is like hearing people saying, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have watched Parasite, or if it wasn't for your conversation, I don't think I ever would have dived into this series or that. So everything we talk about, recent watches, top 5s, like it's a blast with you guys. Here's 300 down, 300 to go, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then like this is also kind of like evolved into like a total of just a different network. Like we can talk about anything now. We can talk about, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode, sports, wrestling, video games. Doesn't matter. One day, I think my ultimate goal from this is to, have a conversation 5 days of the week. So
hell yeah,
I'll be there as long as the topic suits me. I think I'll be there.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about what's to come. If you're here locally, or if you're watching or listening locally, go check out some businesses around. We have some flyers that are hanging out. And those flyers have to do with our giveaways. So if you're listening or if you're watching, if you want a shot at that $50 San Marcos gift certificate, all you have to do is go find one of our flyers. They're all over the city. Take a picture of the flyer. The one flyer that is the most easiest to find is going to be the one on Vintage Stock on 74th and Penn right here in South OKC. Take a picture of that flyer, show us at the event, or share it on social media, and you're entered in that $50 San Marcos gift certificate. That's all you have to do. If you're watching this on the Emus Wall Productions YouTube channel, or if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts at, take a picture, tag yourself, put it on social media, tag the podcast page, and you're entered to win that $50 San Marcos gift certificate. So that's all you got to do. Other than that, guys, next week, 300 Radio Cinema, Saturday, June 8th, 7 p.m. Until then, any final topics before we go?
No, I'm good. No. Everybody have a good week.
No, you too.
Don't forget, next week, have a good week, guys.